Anything. Be careful. Be careful.
We're rolling.
So, introduce yourselves.
I'm Alejandro. I play guitar and I sing.
I'm Fabian, I play guitar. I'm Daniel, and I play bass.
And, so, like, what's it like touring with siblings?
It's got its ups and downs, but mostly ups. It kind of makes it
What are the
like
downs? Let's talk about
that. No, but it kind of helps because a lot of times touring, what makes it tough is being away from family. But if you're always with your family, then it's not as bad. It softens the blow.
We're used to being, living in existing in tight quarters. I mean, we took family trips all the time as kids. So we had to stay in cars, sleep in hotel rooms, stay in bed. So
We had to share a room for many years as young boys. Yeah.
Do you, like, have any fights? Or is that, like...
A lot of the fights that come, never like physical fights obviously, but just like, it's more just because we're so passionate about what we do that we may have like a different view or opinion on something or how we should handle something. But I think the respect level for each other is so high that we always find a way to just kind of like settle it, civilize it.
Yeah. What's the Boyce Avenue? Where does that come from?
All right.
Boyce Avenue is the name. Well, part of the name of a street that we grew up on as kids. I mean, as we touched on earlier, obviously we're brothers, and we grew up in a house on one of those streets, and it to us it conjured up a lot of memories of being kids and hanging out, and most of our old school videotape family footage, is from the backyard, hanging out in that home, and so it was good. Just it was emotionally charged. So.
This can be like both as a band and personal. Like, what are your music influences?
I guess let's go one by one. My personal, more starting out was the Goo Goo Dolls. Now from more of like a career standpoint, I really admire what Coldplay and bands like Linkin Park have managed to do, over the last 10 years.
I like the way you phrase that question because it's not necessarily just, I guess, about a band, but in general, as a type, in music in general, I tend to be influenced and inspired by music that's geared more towards like a live setting. There's like a lot of music that I've been into that I go to the show and I fall in love with it, and then I go and listen to it on the album, and I'm just not as, it doesn't translate as well. So I guess that lately I've just been into bands that are known for having a good live show. I love the energy of going to live shows.
I can definitely appreciate the way you say that, because like some producing just like kills a band, like the way people produce them. But their live shows are amazing.
Absolutely.
I listened a lot to the Goo Goo Dolls and Train, a lot of their early CDs, and even up to now. David Gray, especially a lot of his early stuff. That's about it. I'm a big John Mayer fan. I think that I tend to like some of his more acoustic and poppy stuff even more than necessarily the jazzy stuff. But he's a good transition point for me into that slightly more jazzy type sound. So I've been kind of into some of his stuff.
What's your favorite song to play live off your CD? What's your favorite song to play off your CD? And what's your favorite song in general?
Oh,
like,
nice.
It can be acoustic.
My favorite song, just like of all time, is Black Balloon by the Goo Goo Dolls. And then my favorite song to play live for us is probably, it's like a tie between On My Way and Broken Angel.
My favorite song that we wrote, I'll just switch it out because I think that was...
Yeah, I messed up the question.
No, it's okay. But I think my favorite song that he ever wrote was a song called Broken Angel. And then one of my favorite songs, I have a couple, but one of my favorite songs to play live is More Things to Say, because Alejandro wrote that, and the guitar parts that he wrote for that are like really cool. it's just basically constantly like a guitar solo, not like a, you know, not like a shredding the whole time, but it's constantly this moving, bouncing like riff, like melody guitar part. So that's a really cool, as a guitarist, I like that song.
I think probably my favorite song of ours is On My Way. I remember like the early phases of it when Alejandro had first written it, and something about it grabbed us from the start, and I still think it's, you know, it speaks to me. It's a cool song. And probably to play live, I don't know, it really changes tour to tour, to be honest, depending on how we play the song, where it fits in the rotation. For this tour, for me, I really like just the first two songs when we come out, just the energy of that, like we played tonight, and then we transition pretty quickly right into Not Enough. And I don't know, just something about that energy in those two songs just feels right to me, and I always have a good time with those.
What's the craziest thing that you've done on tour?
Probably right now, almost killing ourselves on skateboards trying to get back in time for soundtrack. I almost wiped out like twice.
Yeah, I think skateboard. This is something new that we've been doing skateboarding. We're kind of late to the party, but yesterday, skating through the streets of Brooklyn, and now today skating through the streets of Boston. This was pretty cool. Not necessarily like crazy, but it was pretty cool. And I think
I don't take part in it.
Yeah,
but
You're the person that watches them wipe out.
yeah,
last. There's some pretty wild stuff we've done though, just in a traveling sense. You know, like it's cool that we've been able to see like Niagara Falls.
Yeah.
You know, seeing a lot of stuff in Europe. I mean, to some people. Oh, we did. Yeah, it sounds ridiculous to say that, but we did. So yeah, we've gotten to do a lot of pretty wild stuff that not everybody. You know.
What's the most memorable to you?
Some of those, like Stonehenge, Niagara Falls.
That's a good question.
yeah.
There's some
There's
really
a
cool
bunch.
castles and cathedrals in Europe.
Yeah,
stuff
Prague.
like that.
I think Prague really hit us.
Prague.
That
It was
cool.
like, because there was something about just like the timing of that, like I think it was right in the middle of the Europe tour, so like everybody had kind of gelled together just like, you know, like perfectly, and then just that part was just like, just hit hard.
That night was pretty
It was like
crazy
3 nights,
too.
like 2 nights off, I think a night off before the show, a night off after the show. The show was amazing.
That night was crazy because right after we finished, and the promoter loved us and we were really treated well, but right after we finished, they turned it into like an 80s dance party. And so we're
80s,
all
90s,
like,
yeah.
80s, 90s dance party, and so we're like, and it's a huge place, and they just turn into this just total club, Euro, like discotheque vibe.
Yeah.
And like, you know, we're nostalgic, we've been hanging out, we just did the show, we really had just gelled as a team, and all of a sudden, like, they started playing songs like the Friends song, you know, the Friends theme song.
Remembrance.
And we were just like...
They hit that song hard, like right when we got, like, because we were, our backstage green room area was like right behind where the dance floor area was. So we were just kind of like, oh, this is crazy walking, and then that song came on and we all just stopped. And we're like, let's just rock to this.
But the promoters and the fans kept buying us drinks and everything, and like, somehow we got separated, and it was just kind of a crazy night because, like, literally, I think there were 7 of us, and we must have all found like 5 different ways back to the hotel. Like, we're like, what are you guys doing here? It was like 6 in the morning. We all met up, so Prague was pretty wild.
Kind of answers my next question, but what do you do on your days off tour?
It kind of goes the spectrum. I mean, we can be as boring as just like sleeping in a hotel to kind of rest up, or just kind of hitting the town with the team, you know, with the whole crew.
If we have a day off, we'll usually try to go out the night before, and so then we'll just sleep in on the day off, you know. See the city by night, you know, just kind of like, we're not really into like the dance club scene, you know. I guess we're more about just finding like a cool restaurant or a quaint pub and just kind of like hanging out. And then if we really have like a day off and we're in a cool place, we'll go try to see the sights. Like in Seattle right before a show, or I don't know if it was a day off, but we ran to go up the Space Needle and you know, stuff like that. But yeah.
What's the craziest thing a fan said, did, or given you?
God, we stink at this question.
Well, because our fans are like really tame for the most part.
And stuff happens, but we
One of those things.
I mean,
you
like
don't
they give us a
remember.
lot of nice stuff, you know, like a lot of sweet stuff that you're just like, wow, you know, it's pretty generous. Like I think the first show of this tour was in DC, and like one of our street teamer, like hardcore fan, gave us like a, you know, in a suitcase or whatever that size, just full of just like goodies, like Skittles, homemade stuff, like, you know, brownies, cookies, and then even just useful stuff, like a really cool book of like the greatest album covers of all time, blankets, like all sorts of stuff that we actually end up using on the road, you know.
One of my favorites is that one of the street teamers from Austin, Delma, got us she made us all these shirts that have like Homer Simpson on it, and he's like doing the rock horns,
Yeah.
and he himself is wearing a Boyce Avenue shirt, and so she made a onesie for one of my sons, and
That's cute.
I don't know, he wore it, and it was really adorable, so
That's adorable.
that was cool.
This is kind of from my friend who was helping me out with questions. In a zombie outbreak, who would die first and who would die last? And how would it happen?
I don't even know. Zombie outbreak.
I think we would all say that we would out-survive the other two. But
Skateboard my way. Freedom. Judo chop all those zombies. Kill them.
I personally think Alejandro would definitely die first. He's just not super in touch with what's going on around him necessarily.
See, I thought he would die last. He'd be the one hiding and like.
He'd be like just doing his iPhone thing, and like a zombie would literally sit right next to him. He'd just keep doing the iPhone thing. Chomp on
Although
his neck.
one of the
He'd be dead.
you say zombies, and I think of this app that I've been loving. This app game called Plants vs Zombies.
Mhm.
It's a
It's
I don't know. I'm kind of somewhat of an expert when it comes to zombies. I know what plants to use to keep them at bay, so to speak. But that was an interesting question.
Now for the two fan questions. This one's for you, Alejandro.
All right.
When are you getting married?
I don't know. It's
Last night he got married.
I got married almost twice
You
last night, apparently. No, I don't know. I mean, we'll see what happens.
Girls
I'm kinda
propose
like-
quite often at shows.
I feel like we're kind of like in the middle of something exciting, you know.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely not like ready for that yet. Although at the same time, it's like I've always been kind of that's such a big part of like obviously who I am, you know, like who I'm going to become. That like I'd never turn my back on it if it kind of like presented itself to me like in the perfect person, you know. So, but we'll see. Time will tell.
And when are you going to play your home show in Puerto Rico?
Nice. I don't know. It's
A lot of
Totally
times with
fun.
shows,
Yeah, we
you
love it
can't
too.
you can't just go to where you want to go. You have to sort of wait for either promoters or people to come to you.
Yeah.
Go where the fans are.
And it has to all sort of, I guess, line up, and everything has to work out. So there's a lot of places that we want to go, like Brazil, Puerto Rico, and I'd love to play in the Asian markets like Japan and China. But you know, you just have to be patient and wait till there's a buzz. Like when we first went to the Philippines, they contacted us. You know, it's not like we said, hey, let's just go to the Philippines and see if we can play a show. So hopefully Puerto Rico come knocking on our door.
Yeah, and we're perfectionists, and if I know us, like when we do finally play there, we're gonna want it to be like really cool. So I think we'll probably wait. You know.
yeah.
Okay. Two more questions. How does it feel like to have viral videos? Like all your acoustic covers are basically viral, over 1 million views.
It's interesting. It's like I mean this to sound like this is just my personal thing, but what I'm most proud of with what we've done is that I actually feel like, and a lot of people are like shocked when I say this, but that I don't think any of our videos have been like viral. It's like a different. I guess it depends on how you define viral, but it's all just been much more like hard work, and like we have so many that have, you know, close to equal views, that it's not like a lot of other artists that you'll see, or not necessarily artists, but YouTubers or whatever, where one of their first videos or just one random video just took off, you know, and has just millions and millions of views, and then the rest of them they were never able to do that from the get-go, or they're never able to duplicate that again. Kind of like this one-hit wonder vibe, you know,
Yeah.
of like one viral wonder of YouTube. But so with us, I'm really proud that it's more just like out of hard work, and just like every video we post, we try to post the best thing that we can post at that time. You know? So.
And I was talking to my friends that are also in a band, but and we were talking about covers and how we were talking about how they were in, and only fans only like bands because they do certain covers. Do you think that's true?
I think covers are really, like, I think that's what you're saying, that they're in right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. I mean, you can see it through the success of a lot of YouTubers, and also like
Even more famous
Glee,
bands, I feel like, are starting to do it.
and you know, I don't know, ever since I've been going to shows, almost every concert I go to, the band, and maybe it's because I like more mainstream type acts, less indie type acts, but they'll do covers, you know, like a cover or two per show, whether it's Keith Urban or Coldplay, or U2, or even Green Day. But I don't know. That question about whether people like bands just because they do covers is a very sensitive one for us, because fortunately most of our fans have been really excited about our original music and haven't treated us like a cover band, because while it's tough, while we enjoy doing covers, that's why we do them. I mean, that's how we learn to play music. We love music. We love all sorts of music, not only our own and the music that comes out of us, but, you know, the music around us, and we like putting our spin on it. But, you know, there's this stigma associated with being a cover band. So you just kind of have to make your own peace with it and what you're comfortable with. And for me, it's just kind of like, we like doing our original music, we like doing both, and we've found a mix that works for us. But I bet there are people out there that will maybe only go to a show because they want to see just covers, or because of a certain cover. And,
Or not go to a show just because they assume certain things about it.
But the reason I say that is because Charles Trippy promoted my friend's band I Hate My Ex because they did a cover of Baby, and it's like a hardcore kind of cover, and they got like big, huge, like their Facebook fan page got huge, and it's only because of that song. And like
Right.
I was talking to like a singer, and he goes, no one listens to our other songs, like it's just because of that song.
Yeah, well, see, what happens is, I mean, I get why, I mean, we hung out with Charles.
Yeah.
I mean, he and Alec are super, super cool people. But, you know, like, he has viewers, and, like, it's funny, the whole reason the cover thing works is because you know that it's common ground. Most people will have heard the Baby song. They'll find something interesting about that band's take on it, so he shared that with the world, you know. But I just think it's important to have something beyond that, you know. Like, for us, the model was always, well, if we do the covers and it works and people come to our sites, you know, they'll see our original music and they'll have the opportunity to decide whether they like that or not, you know. And whether they like us, because that's a big part of who we are. So, I don't know, every band has to figure out what works for them, like I said, and what balance works for them. But I think you'd be silly to pretend like people aren't going to like a cover, or you're not going to get exposure because of the cover. But you might also be silly if you don't actually have good stuff to back it with. You know, there's really nothing else. Can you blame people? I mean, if you do this cover and it sounds amazing, but then all your original music is crap, or it just is like, I don't know.
Average.
Or it's nothing like the cover song.
Nothing
you
like
can't expect it to.
Yeah, that's what I like about our covers. There's always like similarity to your music, like it.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So.
Well, some of the covers, it's actually kind of, there's been like a few that were like a little frustrating from a songwriter standpoint, just because like there was one, I think the recent one was Firework, where I think in Prague we had just been kind of like, you know, during soundcheck came up with like a riff or whatever, jamming, so to speak, and I remember putting that like on my phone, like, wow, that's a cool idea, you know, for when we write our album or whatever, like maybe bust that out later. And then when we were doing the song Firework, the progression, I guess, happened to be very similar, so like that idea just came out again, and it wasn't until like we finished that I was like, wait, why does this feel so right? And I went back to my phone and I was like, oh my gosh, like that was the idea that I had come up with. So I mean, but I remember my engineer at the time. I was kind of like, oh, like a little let down that I used that idea for this song. But he was like, well, maybe that's why people like, you know, sometimes like your version better than the original versions because of stuff like that. You know, like it's so original and close to what you guys do as a band anyway. You know. So.
Do you have any future plans for acoustics?
We're always kind of doing.
For what? For
Do you have like
acoustic
ideas
stuff?
right now?
For new original music?
Like,
or for
for covers.
Yeah. Yeah, we always kind of have. I mean, I hate to like give anything away, but yeah, we definitely do. We always have ideas kind of just listed out based off of like. Sometimes the fans will suggest some stuff that like we already had a hunch that we'd be able to do a decent job at it. We think there's like a space in that song for us to put our spin on it, and we'll see enough requests for it by fans where we're just like, wow, this could be a home run, you know. So yeah, covers and original music. So.
Yeah. Facebook, Twitter, like put all your things in.
Yeah, I guess pretty much all the main sites, facebook.com/Boyce Avenue, twitter.com/Boyce Avenue, YouTube, all that stuff, MySpace.
Okay.
Thank you so much, yeah.
Thanks.
Yeah.
It's Julie.